Hi everyone, welcome to another Pokemon trading card game match, and as you can see it's pretty sped up, but that's because this match lasted for something like 25 minutes and I still have the 15-minute time limit, so I had to speed it up. Sue me. So on your left you have Treynor and on the right you have Michael. Treynor is playing a pretty big deck right now. He's playing a Landorus Crobat deck, and Michael is playing a Fairy deck which mainly focuses on Florges. So Landorus Crobat, pretty big deck. If you guys watched the St. Louis Regionals stream from Pokemon, then you'll see that it got it won that tournament. As well as that, my friend Jordan, who actually goes to my league with me, played it and got 4th place. So it was pretty popular deck there. So anyway, we're going to start out, and Treynor started with Jirachi EX. That's the absolute worst start you could ever ask for in any game, because you only want to ever play Jirachi EX during your turn, not at the beginning of the game. Its only use in your deck usually is the Stellar Guidance ability. When you play it from your hand, you get to search your deck for a supporter. If you start out with it, you can't use that ability, and it's stuck there for the rest of the game. Now, Michael starts out with a Spritzee, which would normally not be the best start. It's a very low HP Pokemon, but he had the Pokemon Fan Club, so we got another Spritzee and a Xerneas, attached a Fairy Energy to Xerneas and passed. And, well, did Treynor get anything off of his top deck? Does he have a way to get more Pokemon into play? Because that Jirachi only has 90 HP, and he's just revealing his hand to Michael. It's like, this is what I've got. I could either N or I can Juniper, and if I N, I'm going to show you what I have anyway, just to show you I don't have anything useful. So, it's perfectly legal for you to show your opponent your hand. It's just most people don't want to do it because, well, then they get to see what's in your hand. But if you're about to play an N or Juniper, then it doesn't really matter. But he's going to play the N, get himself a fresh 6 cards, and we do see 2 Hawluchas. Perfect. Now, he doesn't have to worry about losing immediately, and he has stuff that he can potentially attack with. He attaches a Strong Energy and a Muscle Band to one of them and passes. And, well, let's see. We see a Fairy Energy go on to Spritzee, a Fairy Garden go down, and a free retreat into Xerneas. Now we're going to see a Geomancy. 2 energies go into play on that Florges EX that Michael just benched, and the other Spritzee. No Aromatisse in play yet, which, well, that's not detrimental to the deck right now, but you're going to want to get an Aromatisse out as soon as possible to move those energies around. And Treynor just straight up played an N for his turn, so we're going to see what he gets off of that. It's also worth noting Michael didn't play a supporter. So, well, Treynor definitely needed to play one there, but it must have been a little hard knowing that Michael didn't play one, and thus he didn't have one in his hand. But it didn't really matter, because Fairy decks are notorious for not really needing supporters or items, anything. They could just straight up attack, do a lot of damage. We see a regular Fighting Energy go on to Hawlucha, an Escape Rope. Michael promotes the Spritzee, Treynor promotes the Hawlucha without the Strong Energy on it, or the Muscle Band. Not that it'll really matter here. Flying Press will knock out this Spritzee. It deals 80... it deals 60. Deals 60 damage, so... but... Oh, wait, it's only 2 EXs, though. Yeah, I forgot about that. It only damages EXs, so he just had to pass there. And we see Michael, VS Seeker for the Pokemon Fan Club, get a Xerneas EX and a Florges EX into play. Retreats into his regular Xerneas, and he can use Geomancy here to get more energy into play. Now, Florges EX has an attack called Bright Garden. It deals 20 damage times the number of fairy Pokemon on your side of the field. So, it deals 120, 140 if you get a Muscle Band on. That doesn't usually one-shot EXs, but you're not interested in one-shotting, you're interested in two-shotting. It only requires 2 energy, which is pretty good for a fairy deck. Well, we see the Ultra Ball from Treynor's side. He gets a Landorus EX, a Muscle Band, and he plays his Juniper. And I think I saw a Golbat in his hand. No, it was just a Zubat. Now, the Crobat line is pretty good because it has an ability called Sneaky Bite. Whenever you evolve, I'll look up its exact wording, but it's basically whenever you play Golbat or Crobat from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, then you get to place 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon with Golbat and 3 with Crobat. So, yeah, again, may not seem like much, but 20, 30 extra damage just by putting a card down from your hand, that's a lot. And so we see a Colress from Michael's side. He gets a full 9 cards out of that. Gets 2 Aromatisse out. He can move those energy around as he wills now. Attaches another one to Xerneas EX. That's a lot of fairy energy on the field. If he was running Mega Gardevoir in this deck, that would be great. But this was actually a video of a tournament that took place before Primal Clash was legal. Otherwise, if there was a Mega Gardevoir on the field, oh boy, that's a whole lot of damage that he'd be dishing out. And we see the Fairy Garden go down. There goes Fighting Stadium, providing Mike with free retreat and taking away the extra 20 damage from Trainor's side of the field. We see a retreat in a Xerneas EX, some fairy transfers going all over the place, some rearranging of Pokemon on the bench, nope, no reason not to, and we might just see the breakthrough here, which deals 60 damage to the active and then 30 to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and he chooses to target the Jirachi. A Lysander here and another breakthrough gets him 2 free prizes. And we see a Terrakion go on to Trainor's side of the field with the the Retaliate. Is it Retaliate? Pretty sure it's Retaliate attack. If one of your Pokemon has been knocked out by an opponent's attack in the previous turn, then you deal 90 damage total. Otherwise, it's only 30. But hey, 90 damage. Terrakion has been a huge Pokemon ever since it was first released in Noble Victories, and that is the Noble Victories print as well. Still legal. As long as a reprint of the same card has been printed, then you can play with any print before. We see the evolution into Golbat, and 20 damage goes onto that Florges EX, thanks to its ability. And we see the Hammerhead onto the Xerneas EX. And I didn't see what he targeted on the bench. Probably that Florges. Or maybe I just missed something. But Hammerhead deals 30 to the active normally. But with the Muscle Band, it's an additional 20, so that's 50. And then 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. He might have gone after that Xerneas. I'm sorry, I missed what exactly he went after there. And it looks like Michael's deciding what he's going to use. He has that Max Potion in his hand. He still has access to all of his items. He's going to play it on the Florges. Florges only has 160 HP. So when it's down to 130, all of a sudden, even though it only has 30 damage on it, that 30 damage could mean the difference between life and death at some point. So best to get rid of that damage now before he has to worry about it in the future. And he uses a VS Seeker for Colress. Now he gets the mighty Colress for 10. That is the true power of Colress, when you're able to get a whole 10 cards out of it. Now imagine Colress with that Stadium coming out in Roaring Skies, which allows you to put an additional 3 Pokemon on your bench. Now we're talking like Colress for potentially 16. Is that crazy or what? I seriously doubt we'll see that too often, but whatever. We see the retreat into Florges EX, and we could see the Bright Garden here for 120, which would be a knockout on that Landorus EX. No reason to even attach that Muscle Band. He's doing exactly enough. And that's what he's going to do. Bright Garden for knockout. Treynor promotes his Hawlucha, even if he doesn't want to attack with it. It does have the free retreat, so he can retreat into something else that can... anything else he wants, basically. We see the Fighting Stadium go out. Now Hawlucha is doing an extra 20 damage to EXs. And we see the N. So that's 3 Ns from Trainor's side of the field so far this game. Michael is only going to get 4 cards off of this, a bit fewer than that Colress for 10 during his turn, but Treynor still gets 6 because he hasn't taken a single prize yet. If he gets a if he gets a Crobat, he can evolve his Golbat into Crobat and Sneaky Bite for 3 damage counters and put it anywhere on Michael's side of the field. 3 damage counters to one of those Pokemon. We see an Ultra Ball from Treynor, and he's getting that Crobat, and he's targeting down that Florges EX. And now Hawlucha is doing, I believe, 120, 60 plus 80, 60 plus 20 from Fighting Stadium, plus 20 from Muscle Band, plus 20 from Strong Energy. Yeah, it would have been 120 damage, but instead he's just going to retreat into Terrakion and use Retaliate for a base damage of 90, but he has another 20 from Strong Energy, and 20 from Muscle Band, and 20 from Fighting Stadium, so it was enough to knock out that Florges EX. Michael almost promotes his Xerneas there, but decides against it. And now they're tied on prizes, 4 prizes each. Michael's actually going to promote his Florges EX. Worth noting that the Fairy Garden is gone, and most people only play 2 in their deck. Michael might play 3 or even 4, but if he only plays 2, both of them are gone. They're in his discard pile, so the only ways to get them back are to, like, Dowsing Machine or Lysander's Trump card. Some other way to get them out of the discard pile. There are none left in his deck. We see him promote the Xerneas EX, actually. And he just puts the 2 energy, he fairy transfers them onto that baby Xerneas and uses Colress for 8? Yeah, for 8. Less than his 10, and less than his 9, but still, Colress for 8? That's a pretty powerful Colress. You can realistically expect to Colress for anywhere between 4 and 8 during a game. If you get more than that, great, but sometimes you will have to Colress for less than that, and it's not fun when you have to. It looks like he did not get what he was looking for there. He held out his hands in defeat. He's not defeated, though. He has a pretty good chance. We do see the Fairy Garden go down, so there's that means he definitely placed 3 in his deck. Unless maybe he Dowsing Machined for it earlier, but in any case, there we go. We see a Fairy Energy go onto Xerneas EX. He could always Fairy Transfer stuff onto it, but Breakthrough only does 60 to that Terrakion, which has 90 HP. No, it doesn't. It has 130 HP. What am I thinking? And so he would have to X-Blast here for, I think, 140 to knock out that Terrakion. And even worse, Xerneas couldn't use X-Blast the next turn. That being said, Xerneas has 170 HP. That is a lot to ask for a one-hit knockout against that from Michael's end. My apologies if there was a cut there or if this gets completely out of sync, but my video card on my computer decided to stop, so I had to start this commentating again mid-video, but oh well. So I'm at the point now where Treynor used the VS Seeker for an N, 4th N of the game. Xerneas did knock out the Terrakion. And so that means that Michael's only going to get 3 cards off of this and Treynor gets 4. But Treynor has a very small deck, so I guess 4 isn't that bad. We see a Zubat go down, and I guess he played a Zubat already during this turn. I'm sorry, guys, like I said, I just had to start this and hope for the best, so yeah. Now, Hawlucha here could use Flying Press, but Flying Press is only doing 100 damage. No, it already used it. Okay, we're going to see the Lysander out the Jirachi, the Retreat into Florges, and the Bright Garden here for knockout, after Michael rearranges his Fairy Energy on his side of the field. And yep, Bright Garden for knockout. Treynor is holding the Jirachi. I guess Michael's just deciding where he wants to put those Fairy Energy. He's spreading them out just in case something gets Lysandered. And we see the Bright Garden for knockout, and Michael only has 1 prize left. And Treynor needs to take 4 prizes in basically 1 turn, because Michael only needs a Lysander here to win, to bring out a Hawlucha or a Zubat or basically anything. We see an Ultra Ball from Treynor's side, and what's he going to get? He's eyeing that Lucario EX. He is going to get the Lucario EX. But at this point, I think Michael has the game. He only has 1 prize, Treynor has 4. Basically, Michael only needs to use a Bright Garden on anything except that Lucario, and he wins. And even then, Lucario gets 2-shot. And we see the Colress for 10 from Treynor's side as well. So that's his first Colress of the game. We see the Fighting Stadium go down. Now Hawlucha's doing more. And Lucario has a Strong Energy put onto it as well. It can use Missile Jab for 30. Oh, we see the Golbat from Treynor's side. So that's an additional 20 damage out there on that Florges EX. We see Missile Jab for 70, so that puts the Florges up to 90. But oh, Michael had the VS Seeker and he uses it to get Lysander. What a fun end to a fun game. Yeah.